Yo guys, what's up? Main here. So I just made a little over $15,000 in the last couple of hours trading Bitcoin and Ethereum. I'm going to cover that trade for you and talk a little bit about what I think is going to happen in the market for the rest of this month. So let's get into it. So you can see here on the screen, I've got some closed P&L here. Basically very small size trades, nothing crazy. When the market is this volatile, you don't need to go super big. So you can see I closed out, there's 9 grand there, another $3,000 there, basically another $3,000 there. That's about 15,000 bucks right there. And then I actually still have a small portion of this trade open as well. So you can see here, I've got $3,000 in open P&L to 2.5 Bitcoin position that is remaining, which is about a $200,000 position size. So this is a setup that I posted on Telegram. And I'm going to just kind of walk you through my thought process, why I entered the trade. Then I'm going to talk to you a little bit about sizing, what I think might happen next, and then we'll go from there. So the reason I'm doing this and I'm showing you guys the P&L and stuff like that is because I think something that's missing a little bit on YouTube specifically is like actual trading going on. So I post the signals, I'm taking the trades, and I'm showing you what's possible in this market without needing millions and millions of dollars. The account that I'm trading over there on Blowfin right now doesn't even have, I think, $200,000 in it. I think it's got like 150K in it. So you can enter these types of trades and get these types of results without needing to have millions of dollars. I think especially if you're a crypto Twitter person, you can get very much caught up in trying to have to, $1 million P&Ls, multi-100,000, six-figure P&Ls. That's not necessary to make money in these markets. I'm sure many of you would be very happy to be able to make $15,000 in a few hours. So let's talk about the actual trade that I took to make this money. So I talked about this on Telegram the other day. Right, I'm just going to delete this for now just so we have a little bit more visibility. Let me make this full screen here. Bada bing, bada boom. So we had a nice move up, right, on crypto. And I initially, in my last video, right, if you remember, was calling for a move up above here when we were trading around here, right? I was calling for a move up and then a pullback and then maybe even a run of these lows, but definitely some sort of correction, right? And we got exactly that. Now, where did I go wrong? Because I don't get things right all the time. I initially wanted to short. I thought we were gonna get a move above these highs. I had this order block marked out, and then I was looking for a correction off there. But we just kind of went a little higher than I expected. So you can see we actually just peaked above that order block. In hindsight, it ended up being an H12 SFP. So I actually readjusted my targets for higher. I said, okay, well, we've charged through this order block. It looks quite strong. Maybe we're gonna go up to 104. And that is where I'll get into the short. So a good lesson in there about kind of just sticking to your plan, right? If you have a plan, stick to the plan. I did the analysis, the plan was playing out, and then in the moment I changed the plan. I ended up missing a nice short, and I actually ended up taking a long right here that clearly did not work out very well. So we did follow effectively the plan that I had for both Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana from the last video. We ran above the local highs and then we got a pullback. So once we start pulling back here, what's everyone do? They start shitting their pants, as per usual. Right here, what was happening on Twitter? What was the sentiment that you were seeing? You missed the bottom. I can't believe some of you guys were calling for lower prices. Everybody's dumb except for me, and we're going so much higher. We're gonna be at all-time high soon. And then a few red candles later, everyone's now saying it's over. The DOJ is dumping a bunch of Bitcoin. We're going to 70K again. So the flip-flopping that you see online, right? It's more prevalent than ever right now. Right? People are highly emotional and they're not acting logically. So you as a trader, you need to cut out that noise. You need to avoid that noise. I even still, to this day, after doing this for years and years and years, get caught up in it sometimes. I was planning for a pullback after this move up, but everyone was so bullish. The chart looked really good. I ditched my plan. Look what happened. I missed a good trade. So you got to do your best to kind of ignore a lot of that noise that you're going to see specifically on Twitter. Stick to your plan, stick to your analysis. So we got the pullback, everyone's shitting their pants. I posted for you guys in the Telegram. If we get a pullback to the lower part of this range, I think it's a long, right? I think it's a long. So we had the order block here on the H12, and then if you guys also remember, we had our yearly open, right? So the monthly open, what's the monthly open for January? It also happens to be the yearly open. So I said, this seems to me to be like a good place to look for longs. So that's exactly what I did. Initially, I took a long right on this first wick down, and then we got a bounce. And I closed some of that almost immediately. So that's some of that closed P&L that I showed you at the start of the video. We wicked down, I started longing, we bounced a few $1,000s, right? We went from 92,500 all the way up to 95,500. That's a $3,000 move in less than 4 hours, okay? Closed that, happy with my money, left some of it open, went to bed, and I saw that we were trading below that low again. And I said, well, you know what? My invalidation is here, right? That's my invalidation, below this range low. So when I saw us trade below here, but we started sweeping that low, as in we wicked below and we started trading back above, I said, I'm just gonna punt it again. So that's exactly what I did. I added back and I re-longed, taking the exact same setup another time. And lo and behold, this 4-hour candle took us from the lows here, from the lows here, right, at 91,738, and it traded up to 94,500. Again, almost a $3,000 move in less than 4 hours. So I'm not even fully out of this position because my invalidation is here. I'm entering based on here. I'm actually going to be looking to compound this trade now, potentially based on the fact that we might now have an H12 SFP here. Swing low, wick below, closed above. So if this H12 candle closes as an SFP, we already have the H1 market structure break, which I had on earlier here. I'll just bring that chart back up. There's the market structure break. So this in reality, right, we still got a few hours until the daily close. It's only 12:18 here Eastern Standard Time, so we still got a handful of hours for this to close as an SFP. But as long as the daily candle closes above this low, I can now do two things. I can look to add to that position with my classic H12, H1 setup. So there's your breaker, right? And then I can move the invalidation from here up to this low. Okay, and it becomes an entirely new setup. So I'm allowing myself to get into potentially a new trade with an even tighter validation. As well, on the low time frames, I'm effectively taking the same trade 2 times here, just on a different scale. So instead of the H12, H1, I took this trade based on the H1 SFP. And then we've got the retest. So if you go down to the M5 here, right, that first trade that I took, here's your H1 sweep, here's your H1 breaker. Wrote it up to here, TP'd, okay? Same thing this morning, right? Here is your H4 sweep down here. Here is your H4 breaker, or your M15 breaker, same thing. Wrote this up to here, closed out. So within the higher time frame setup that I'm now building, so I still left a portion of that trade from this morning on, okay? But within that higher time frame setup that I'm potentially building based on the 12-hour sweep, I was able to take 2 scalps off the same level. And the reason I had the confidence to take those scalps off of the yearly open and within this H12 zone is because I have that high time frame bias. My high time frame bias is that we should get a bounce from here. And if that's the case, I'm willing to take punts on the low time frame in line with that bias. The H1, H4, M15, M5, all of those trade triggers have a way higher likelihood of working out if they're in line with the high time frame, which in this case they were. And what I've showed you here is with how volatile the market is right now, you can make thousands and thousands of dollars on relatively small position size. So the first Bitcoin trade that I took was 5 Bitcoin. I'm not saying this is an insignificant, position size, because 5 Bitcoin, it doesn't sound like a lot, but with Bitcoin being at almost 100,000, that's nearly a $500,000 position. And then I think I longed 50 or 75 ETH, which is like a $200,000 position. So in total, I had less than $1 million. It was more like $700,000 of long exposure on the low time frame, and I was able to return a nice 5-figure P&L in literally a few hours. I was in the trade yesterday for less than 4 hours, and I was in the trade this morning for less than 4 hours. So what I'm just trying to show to you guys here is it's not always about the multi-6-figure P&L, the 7-figure P&L that you see some guys trade. That is like the 1% of the 1% that are going to be able to do that. And you need to have a very large account size to be able to capture those types of returns. What I'm trying to show you is even with not a crazy huge account, and you can get a bigger account trading with breakout prop, of course, you can still get some serious returns. I built my career on base hits, okay? I had home runs, of course. I've had 6-figure wins. I've had 7-figure wins. A lot of those were spot though, not even leverage trading. But I really made the most money in my leverage account stacking up smaller wins. Not always 15K, right? Maybe sometimes they're 20, 30, 40, 50K, but $15,000 is a lot of money. If you can do that 2 or 3 times in a week, which right now with how volatile the market is completely doable with a $100,000 size account, there's a lot of money to be made here. And what I'm just trying to show you is while I'm potentially building a swing trade here based on the H12, right? I'm willing to potentially get in on an H12, H1 setup here and ride this for a $10,000 move, not a $3,000 move. You can take small scalps while that's happening. So it's like a trade within the trade. So I know that was a bit ranty there, but I hope that makes sense. And I just want to kind of show you guys that the stuff I post, right? When I'm saying, hey, this looks like a good area to long, I'm trading it too. I'm not just posting it on Telegram and Twitter just for fun. Okay, so that's what I'm watching on Bitcoin right now. I want to see if this sweep holds, and then I might potentially look to swing this. I think that initial area that I would look to TP is around this mid-range up to about 98,000, which would put us into this breaker block here, right here. That's area number 1. If we're able to flip this, then I think we probably trade up to there. So that could potentially be a whole nother trade on its own. But that's what we're watching for. Now, altcoins have gone pretty brutalized on this drop. So if you look at your watch list here, a lot of these altcoins, Fartcoin down 25%, Zero Bro down 14%. A lot of these, AI coins really got smoked on this drop. We see a lot of stuff here in the red, double-digit red numbers for FWOG, for KeyCat. So a lot of altcoins got smacked on this move down. So you do have to be careful. And what that tells you is that very good chance that Bitcoin dominance has been bouncing, which we are aware of. Right? We know that this is potentially putting in a lower high here. However, it's not confirmed until we make a lower low. So there's still that potential that if the market corrects more, but Bitcoin dominance goes up, alts are going to get the worst of it, okay? So we're watching that on Bitcoin because I think that's going to be still the barometer for everything. Now, we have a lot of liquidity that is built up below these lows here. So if this sweep doesn't work out, right? So I'm basically playing a low time frame sweep here, but all of this stuff is sitting here, okay, and could get ripped. So if we do not bounce like I would like to see us do, there's a very good chance that we could get a very strong candle down below all of these lows. And so the area that I'd be looking for if we're going to continue to sell off is going to be this zone right here around 85K, which would be, I think, a very nice wick area based on, okay, we've got all these lows around 90K sitting here. If we're gonna nuke through them, I think this fair value gap on the daily becomes the draw. I've seen people calling for 70,000. I've seen people calling for the top being in. My personal opinion is it's not over yet. I'm still bullish for January. I think we end up green this month. There's just a lot going on. We have a lot of macroeconomic news events this month specifically, and then we have a new president coming in to office on January 20th, along with it being a new year, new quarter, new month. So there's a lot going on right now. So again, I'm just taking the trades as they come. Not a lot of risk on the table to make that money. I'm happy to take that money and run. And what also it allows me to do is if we dip lower, I now have $15,000 P&L that I'm willing to risk extra in the form of that could be my risk for a stop out, right? Allows you to build that buffer in your account and then take a bigger swing on potentially a higher confidence play. So we're gonna watch, we're gonna see what happens here over the next little bit, but I don't think the bull run is over. I know a lot of people are talking about it being over. I personally don't think it's over. That's my opinion. I very well could be wrong. We could nuke and go back to 70K. Alts could get absolutely decimated. I don't really know. The thing is about the top, you're not gonna know it's in until it's already in and it's already too late. I am dancing by the door. Let's put it that way. I'm aware that we have gone up a lot. We've seen some crazy stuff happen. So I'm thinking about potentially exiting some stuff, but I'm not there yet. I'm not selling my spot. I'm not like doom and posting. If things change, by all means, you gotta be fluid with the market. But for now, I'm still confident Bitcoin makes new all-time highs. 100K is a big psychological level. So the fact that we're struggling there and we're chopping around it, to me is not very surprising. So maybe we get a larger correction. Maybe it's over and I'm wrong. I personally don't think it is. I still think the cycle has some legs. 120, 130, 140, $150,000 Bitcoin. I still would like to see Ethereum make an all-time high. I'd like to see Solana make a proper all-time high. So my macro view still has not changed, but the low time frame has been tricky, but it doesn't mean there's not a lot of opportunity. Because the market is so volatile, you can get instances like I showed you at the start of these videos where you can get a $3,000 move up, $3,000 move down, $3,000 move back up, all within the span of one day. There's money to be made there day trading. So hopefully that shows you how you can do that. Hopefully it was valuable. I know this is a little bit different style video than you guys are used to. I'm gonna have a live stream coming soon. I've got another video planned soon, but I've told you guys we're making a big push on YouTube this year. I wanna be the biggest crypto YouTuber this year. I'm not trying to go after anyone else's lunch that does stuff different than me, but in terms of straight up trading education and actually trading and showing you the shit and teaching you guys and showing you while I do it, I think I'm one of the better ones out there. So I'm gonna be putting a lot of effort into YouTube all 2025 to do this. All right, guys, so if you're liking these videos, there's gonna be lots more of them coming. Leave me comments in the description with stuff you wanna see. In the description of this video, my free Telegram where I posted these trade ideas in these areas, that's there. If you want to have even more access to me, full trading course and stuff like that, that's all within the Haven. The link for that's in the description as well. Of course, my prop firm, Breakout. You guys already know about Breakout. We're the best crypto prop firm in the game. Information on that in the description as well. So if you want to take advantage of these swings and these intraday scalps without risking your own money, come risk my money over at Breakout, and you can absolutely do that. Otherwise, I will talk to you guys soon in the next video. Peace.